Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to do a comparison video. These are both kind of dual purpose coffee makers. They both do K-Cups, and then they both have a coffee maker. This is the Cuisinart SS-15. It sells for about $200. This is the Keurig K Duo. It sells for about $170. Sometimes you can find $150. Sometimes it's around $200, depending on where you get it. So the first thing is this one will not fit, the Cuisinart will not fit underneath the kitchen cabinet. The K Duo will. So if you want exact dimensions, check out my detailed review on each one of these, but just a rough idea, this one fits underneath the kitchen cabinet. This one, no. So another difference is, so I unplugged this one and it held its time. I unplugged this one for like 5 seconds and it lost its time. So the next real obvious thing is the control panel. Here you've got the control panel kind of in the front, out where you can see it. This one is up at the top, but I don't notice that to be that big a deal, but you do kind of look at it that way. And on the Keurig, the control panel here controls everything. Where over here you've kind of got two separate control panels. This is mainly for the coffee maker, and this is for the K-Cup side. Let's go over the K-Cup, just kind of a dimensions. You've got the single needle at the top. You've got kind of a standard Keurig needle basket on the bottom. Cuisinart, same type of needle basket on the bottom. A little different needle on the top, but it's still just a single needle. The Cuisinart's got 6, 8, and 10 ounces you can brew. I find the 8 ounce to be a really good cup of coffee for a K-Cup. The Keurig, you can do 6, 8, 10, and 12 ounces, and you can also do a strong brew on the K-Cup. You cannot do a strong brew on the coffee maker side. So let's look at the coffee maker. This is a pretty standard brew head. You've got a filter basket here. This is a standard basket style. You got the plunger on the bottom. It fits in there real nice. This is very well made. Over here, this is Cuisinart's standard coffee maker side. They do cone filters. So this takes a number 4 cone filter, but there's where the cone goes. It's got the, on the bottom, you're going to pour your water in the back. This is, you'd be surprised. It's almost like they took a coffee maker and just attached a K-Cup to it, because this is identical to their coffee maker. The Cuisinart does come with a carbon filter, brew head. Let's look at the coffee pots. You know, a little different design. They both work really good. This has a hinged lid. This does not have a hinged lid. You got to pop it off and then pop it back on. They both have a warming plate, so this is going to keep your coffee pot warm. Same with this. Even the Keurig's got a nice warming plate. It's going to keep your coffee warm. Cuisinart's got a sight glass on the side to let you know how much water you got on the coffee maker side. So there are some pretty big differences on the back. The Keurig's got one water tank for both the K-Cup and the coffee maker side. So you got to make sure that if you want to do full 12 cups, you got to make sure you got a full 12 cups. Because if you've been doing some K-Cups, it sucks down the water from the same reservoir. The Cuisinart, different. It's got its own reservoir for the K-Cup side. And it's detachable. And it comes with a carbon water filter. So you come with 2 carbon water filters on the Cuisinart. This water reservoir is not as big as this one, but it does have a nice carrying handle. And it's simply only for the K-Cup side. This water reservoir is okay. The Keurig does not come with a carbon water filter. I had to purchase this. This is about $14 extra. But at least you only need 1 carbon filter for, like I said, it only has 1 tank, and both the coffee maker and the K-Cup side use it. And it does come off. It's just a little bit bigger, a little heavier, but it works really well. Extension cords are about the same. The Cuisinart's a 2-prong. The Keurig is a 3-prong. A little heavier due to your cord. No cord storage on either one. Again, let's talk coffee maker. Cuisinart does have a few more controls, a few more bells and whistles. So they've got this switch. This switch here, I can control how hot the plate gets to keep your coffee maker. Now, it only varies it from about 180 to 185, but that's kind of a neat deal. Low, medium, and high for the coffee pot. I've got this fancy switch for brew, auto, off. I can change how long my coffee maker stays on after I brew my last cup of coffee. This one automatically shuts off after 2 hours. The default for this one's 2 hours, but I can change it from 0 up to 4 hours. They both are programmable. I can program this just the coffee maker. Same over here. I can program, it's got an auto switch. I can program the coffee maker to brew me a pot of coffee in the morning, not the K-cup side. So this is it's got switches. It's got a big brew button here you were going to press. It's got a clean light, and it also has a clean function. I really like that with Cuisinarts. This has a no, this one does not have a Back to the Cuisinart. It does let you do a bold setting on the coffee pot side. So whereas this one you can only do a strong on the K-cup, you can't do a bold on there. This one you can't do a strong or a bold on the K-cup. It's just simply does have an add water light. So does this. This will tell you when to add water. So both of these will take any standard K-cup. We're just simply going to lift the lid. You put your K-cup in. You let the machine do the work. It's going to pierce the top and the bottom. Now with the Keurig, I've got to hit this K button. Since these controls control both, I got to hit the K, and then it changes the ounces. I'm going to do 8 ounce. Press the K button, and over here all I got to do is simply just press the 8 ounce button. Now the Keurig is much faster. It keeps the water up to temperature, and it pretty much starts brewing right away. This one is brewing. This one has not started brewing yet, but it's getting ready to. Okay, so the Keurig is done. It's about 175. This one's brewing, maybe a little bit slower stream. Neither one of them are splashing. This one's heating up its water now, so it kind of sounds kind of loud. So when you brew a K-cup, neither one take an extremely amount of time. Definitely this one's definitely done under a minute. For the Cuisinart, you're looking at about maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Again, it brews it also around 173, 174. So they both brew at the same temperature. So I've tasted these. They both taste almost exactly the same. I really don't notice a difference. Where you can notice a little bit of a difference. So I could do a strong on the K-cup side over here. And you do notice it to be a little bit more stronger. So let's go over cleanup. You're just simply going to lift this up. Be careful of the needle still. This one's the same way. So let's brew a pot of coffee. Again, this is going to be a major difference. This is basket style and cone style. I do notice in some of my reviews, cone filters do tend to make a little bit better brew of coffee when you brew it in the coffee pot. So this one is a basket style. You just put your filter in there. Both these machines, you can use a reusable filter. I just like to use paper filters. And the cone goes in there like that. So there you've got both filters. They both recommend 1 tablespoon of cup you're going to brew. So with this one, you control how much you're going to brew by how much water you put in the reservoir. It's going to brew whatever amount of water. So if you put a full 12 in here, it's going to brew the whole 12. If you just fill it up to the 6, it's only going to brew the 6 cups. Over here, it's a little different. I can only brew 6, 8, 10, or 12 cups. I don't really control it by how much water I put in. And over here, I've got to make sure the water reservoir is full before. See, it's come down because I've been doing some K-cups. So I got to go back, fill that up to the max. And then I'm going to fill my coffee maker up using this, depending on how much I want to use. And I'm going to pour it right there. So I'm going to put the coffee grounds in. They both take just a standard coffee maker coffee grounds, medium ground. I'm going to do 6. So I'm going to do a 6 cup. So I'll do 6 tablespoons in each one. Okay, so I've got my 6 tablespoons in each one. I've done full pots of coffee with each one. I put 12 tablespoons. Neither coffee maker has a problem with 12 tablespoons. They both can use a maximum of 15 tablespoons, and you don't get overflow. So the water does not overflow the filter, and you don't get any coffee grounds in your coffee pot. I've checked that with both of these. They both do a really good job of brewing coffee. So with my Keurig, even though it's come down, I still have 6 cups in here. So I'm good to go on this. I don't need to add any water. Now with the Cuisinart, I have to add the water each time I want to brew coffee. So with the Cuisinart, it's on brew. I just press the brew button. Over here, I got to turn it on. This thing shuts off after 5 minutes, unless you've got the coffee maker going. So again, over here, I got to press the coffee pot side. So I'm going to press the coffee pot side. It says cups, and I'm going to do 6, and then start the brew. So this one got a little head start. Now this is where another big difference comes in. So Keurig machines, you can hear a pump running. So there's a pump inside here that's taking water from the reservoir, sending it through a heater, and then it's going to send it over here into the coffee maker side. The Cuisinart is like a standard coffee maker. It doesn't have any moving parts on the coffee maker side. Now on the K-cup side, it has a pump that runs it through a heater and shoots it out. But over here, there's a heating element down here that heats the water up, and then it gets hot and shoots it up into the filter basket. So there's no moving parts on the coffee maker side. But again, over here on the Keurig, I don't know if it's the same pump or a different pump, but there is a pump on each one of these. So when you do a K-cup, it runs the water through a pump, and when you do the coffee maker, it runs it through a pump. Both of them are about the same loudness. Again, here you've got kind of the standard, kind of the really hot, and you can hear it shooting the water up in here. This one, it comes and goes, so it's really quiet sometimes, and all you hear is the dripping. And other times, you can hear the water heating up on the inside. So, like, see, there you go. There it's starting to heat up again. So I'd say loudness, they're both about the same. And again, I've got detailed reviews about programming these to come on in the morning. They both do that. They're both relatively easy to program in the morning. They just do it a little differently. Where, you know, the Cuisinart's got a switch. You got to put it in program first, set the time. A little different, but they both work really good. If you got the water and the coffee in, you can have a pot of coffee in the morning, whatever time you set it for. And both of them are the same. So when you're brewing coffee, it shut the lights off on the K-cup side. I cannot brew a K-cup. And same over here. If I'm brewing a coffee, if I'm doing the coffee maker side, I cannot do a K-cup side. Now, once the coffee is done and it turns the warming plate on, I can do a K-cup. Same over here. So you could do your pot of coffee, and while it's staying warm, somebody could do a K-cup. But you have to wait until it's done brewing. Which on these, it's around 10 minutes for a full 12 pot of coffee. They're both about the same, between 10 and 12 minutes. The Keurig might be a little bit quicker on a pot of coffee. So the indication that we have that this is brewing, that light is pulsing on and off. Over here, that light is on steady. When they're done brewing and then the warming plates come on, this light will turn red. And then this switches down here to that light, that warm light comes on. So you can see this one is almost to the 6 cup mark. The Cuisinart is about 4 cups. And I started the Cuisinart before this one by about maybe, 30 seconds maybe. So definitely the Keurig is going to finish up quicker. They both have pause brewing, so I can take it out. It's got a plunger that's going to stop it from coming out, and then put it back in. Same with this. I can pour a quick cup of coffee. You know, you may get a drip with that one also. So this one does make a little more noise towards the end of the brew. So here, this one finished. It changed that light to red. That lets me know that the warming plate is on. There's my add water light is on. This one's not done brewing. So the Cuisinart does beep at you, and as far as I know, there's no way of turning that off. It switched to the warm setting. So the Cuisinart took about 2 minutes longer than the Keurig, and that'll translate, it'll take about 3 or 4 minutes longer when you do a full 12 pot. So the Keurig is definitely faster. Let's see how they did. You can tell they did a really good job with the coffee grounds. Here's a cone. Cones are just a little different, but they do brew a good pot of coffee. Again, they'll both automatically shut off after 2 hours, but I can program this one to be different. I can program this one to stay on for up to 4 hours, or I can change it down to 0. I can have it shut off as soon as it's done brewing. The Keurig, there's no programming that. It's 2 hours. So let's pour a cup of coffee. See how they pour. Let's see how it pours. You know, they both pour pretty well. I kind of like the Keurig pour, maybe just a little better. Let's do a temperature check. So around 160. This one's cooled off a little bit. I let it sit for just a minute. This one's around 165. So the Cuisinart might brew just a little bit hotter cup of coffee. But again, this one has been sitting for a little bit, and I've let it cool off just a second. Coffee cools off really fast when it's in a coffee cup. If I remember right, they both brew coffee maker side about the same temperature. So let's talk cleanup. I don't have a big problem with cleanup. They both clean up the same. You know, you can take the filter basket out. It's got a nice little handle. Over here on the Cuisinart, it's got a nice handle. The coffee pots clean up. Well, here's one thing. I keep forgetting. Keurig says these parts are not dishwasher safe. So whereas on the Cuisinart, I can put that in the dishwasher, the coffee pot. So that might be a little bit of a difference. K-cup side looks about the same as far as cleanup. I can take that needle basket out. Same with over here. Check out my videos. I've used reusable K-cups in both of these. They both do a good job with using your own coffee grounds, so you can save a little money that way. So let's talk one more thing. So on the coffee maker side, here's your water reservoir. It's down in here. It's kind of hidden. I can't get to it really good. And over here, this water reservoir, I can open the lid. I can clean this all out. I'm finding that I like this type of water reservoir a lot better than a coffee maker. And I'll tell you why. If you're going to keep this coffee maker for a while, you'd be surprised. You want to clean that down there. And that's really hard to clean on the coffee maker side where the reservoir is. Now, I can, on the K-cup side, I can clean this water reservoir. I can take it out. I can get a long brush. You know, I can brush all of that and get that nice and clean. You know, that's important to me. But this coffee maker side, I can't get it clean. So here's an old Cuisinart. And like I said, you'd be surprised how that is just like a coffee maker, a normal coffee maker. But I've taken it apart. You know, you've got your brew head up here. I took a cone filter. But what I was shocked about, so I cut the sides off. And water reservoirs get dirty. And there's, like I said, there's no good way of cleaning these. That's where the carbon filter goes. And then down here, this is your heating element. And this is where I cut that open to kind of see where you need to descale. That's how the Cuisinart on the coffee maker side, there's no moving parts. It takes the water in, it heats it up super hot and shoots it up to the top. But the Keurig, I haven't taken one apart yet. I'm going to. They've got a water pump in there. So is the Cuisinart going to last a little bit longer? Oh, maybe. The coffee maker side's probably going to last a little longer than the Keurig. But, you know, this one's got a water pump for that. So, and this one's definitely got a water pump for that. I just really like being able to clean water reservoirs now. Seeing how dirty they can get and how hard they are to clean. So these are both really good coffee makers. The biggest difference I see, fits under a cabinet, or this one does, this one doesn't. And that can be a big deal. To me, a coffee maker kind of needs to be able to go underneath a kitchen cabinet. This one is a little more expensive. It's $200. It does look a little nicer. This is definitely more plastic. You know, it may look like it's got some metal, but this is all plastic here. Whereas this one is actually metal, and it does look pretty sharp. I'm tending to lean towards the K Duo here, but I don't think you could go wrong with either coffee maker. I am going to be doing some other comparisons, so I'm going to compare the Cuisinart to the Hamilton Beach Flex Brew. That's $100 like a duo, does K-cups and coffee. And then Keurig has 3 K-duos. They have a K-duo Plus. They have a K-duo that they only sell at Walmart. And then they've got this K-duo, which they kind of sell online and at TargetNet. So look for some more comparison videos. I've been enjoying doing those. The intention of my videos, I just want to help others. I hope this video helps. If you've got any questions of how these two kind of compare, leave them in the comments down below. I'll get the coffee maker out, fire it up if you've got a question, and actually try to duplicate what you got. So I just want to help people. If you could, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.